So what are my final thoughts on DPET? I am very bullish on the potential of this project. However, if a friend of mine came to me today and said, I've invested in a lot of DPET, should I start buying a bunch of pets and breeding right away? My response would be, no. What is up, guys? Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Kevin Crates. This is the channel where we go to crypto news, technical analysis, and NFT gaming reviews. If that sounds like your kind of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that bell on to catch notifications for all daily uploads. Welcome to MyDefiPet. Today we're going to be looking at the white paper. We're going to be buying and hatching an egg as well as doing a bit of breeding. From there, we're going to look at price action and technical analysis on DPET, and we're going to end things off with a summary of my thoughts of the potential of this project. And as always, timestamps are down in the description below. Starting off by looking at MyDefiPet's white paper. And again, guys, I'm fully aware the white paper is some of the most boring parts as far as cryptocurrency research goes, which is why we're going to be going through this very quickly. So what we have here is MyDefiPet, a virtual pet game that combines DeFi, collectibles, and your personality. MyDefiPet is the initiative for our vision of a mass adoption blockchain game. The name encompasses the three characteristics of the game: pet, raising game; DeFi, features integrated; and my personalization. As far as gameplay goes, they state, MyDefiPet revolves around a core loop of engaging gaming activities such as collecting, breeding, evolving, battling with, and trading, socializing for pets. We use the concept of season to break down the game progress into smaller parts. This mechanism complements our human tendency for short-term rewards. As far as collecting the pets go, according to the white paper, there are two primary ways to obtain a pet. The first way to obtain a pet is by summon. You can obtain a random egg by consuming a certain amount of DPET tokens, which at the time of filming this video is 3 DPET tokens. The second way to obtain a pet is via auction. A new pet is born every hour, and bidding with DPET tokens lasts for 24 hours. After the bidding period, any unclaimed pet will remain at the altar for later purposes. Now, at the time of filming this, the auction feature is still not released as far as I'm aware of. The only way to summon a pet for the time being is to pay the 3 DPET price to get a random egg with a random pet. As far as breeding goes, when you summon a pet, it is born with a random set of genes, and combining any 2 pets will create a new pet that inherits its parents' genes. Now, this is the part about breeding that is actually quite interesting, and it's very similar to Zedrun. And if you're not familiar with breeding as far as some of these NFT games go, the way that DPET is approaching it is with a matron and a sire. Now you have the option to breed a pet with a matron and a sire that you own, or for which you have previously been given siring approval. Now, the way that most of these NFT games work is under the matron and sire function, which means that there is a matron that ends up pregnant, and a sire can be just someone that you use for their genes. The matron, however, is generally assigned the new pet. So what that essentially means is that if you have a rare NFT pet with rare NFT genes, you can market that as a sire. And from my understanding of what they're describing here is that the owner of a matron would then have the opportunity to pay you a predetermined DPET fee in order to use your sire for its genes. The ID pet acting as a matron will end up pregnant if successful, and the ID pet acting as a sire will begin its siring cooldown if successful. So this feature, similar to Zedrun from what I understand, is that there is a cooldown period in terms of siring. You can only breed so many times per month in Zedrun as far as a male stallion goes. The white paper adds the new pet is assigned to the current owner of the matron. Upon successful completion, both the matron and the new pet will be ready to breed again. Note that anyone can call this function if they're willing to pay the gas, but the new pet always goes to the mother's owner. So as far as breeding goes, at the time of filming this, a lot of these functions are still not part of the game. The only breeding that I'm currently aware of is just simply breeding 2 pets that you own and mixing their genes together. Looking at evolving now, each pet has certain evolution levels and capabilities depending on its rarity. Players can level up their pet by feeding them DPET tokens. And just to clear things up, this is not the best explanation of evolving in the game. The way that evolving works in the game for the time being is that you farm food on your farmland, and then you feed that to your pet. And once it reaches a certain level, you then pay the current fee of 3 DPETs to evolve them to their next evolution. It also goes on to talk about a season reward. The first season will start with a 100,000 USDT prize locked by the DPETs team in a smart contract. The amount is claimable by finding the NFTs with the exact specification as prescribed in the contract and then sending these to the contract to claim the reward. The particular requirements will be decided after launch. Tentatively, the prize requires 10 legendary pets with maxed level. And again, at the time of me filming this, none of this is currently, to my knowledge, part of the game. So on the topic of battling, all we have is this photo, and it says the battle system is being tested and finalized before added to the white paper. On the topic of trading, it says we implement an auction marketplace to facilitate the trading activities between players, and all major browsers are supported. It goes into more detail about trading. However, at the current time of filming this, there is no active marketplace or auction or trading currently in game. From there, the white paper goes into some details about the DPET token. We're not going to read through every word of this. The link to the website, which has the white paper on it, is down below in the description if any of you want to go read that. However, there was one part I wanted to touch on as far as DPET economics goes. The DPET economics has been designed to incentivize and maximize the interaction between the players and the game. For example, users will be rewarded with DPET and random rewards to encourage them to spend on activities within the system which would promote adoption of the platform, such as spending on purchasing, breeding or evolving pets, or spending time playing games. DPET may be spent by players to significantly enhance their progress and experience in-game. From there, it goes on a little bit to talk about governance, some of the technology behind DPET, as well as the risks, and that pretty much is a summary of the MyDefiPet white paper. And again, if any of you want to read the white paper yourselves, there is a link down in the description below to the MyDefiPet homepage, where there is a link to their white paper on the homepage. All right, now for the fun stuff. So this is MyDefiPet, and the way that it basically works is that you start off with a few pieces of farmland where you have to claim your food, and you use silver to plant your food that your DeFi pets farm for you on the plots of land that they're on. So at the moment I'm claiming my silver, and now I'm going to come here, and with around 27,000 silver, I'm going to just quickly plant all of these. And you can see here, if I click on them, it says that there's 29 minutes left until this food is ready, and that is when I will claim it again and repeat the process. So if you're just starting out in MyDefiPet, what you would do is click on the incubator here and click the plus sign, and it will prompt you saying, would you like to purchase an egg with 3 DPETs, which you would then do. So I've purchased an egg here, it's processing, buy egg success, go to incubator to get your pet. So as you can see here, I got a Spike. This is one of the pets that I actually don't have, so this worked out pretty well. So now you guys can see I have Spike just chilling in the incubator. It's time to get Spike getting us some silver. So we're going to place him somewhere onto an empty farm here. So now Spike is going to be hanging out on that farm, farming silver, like some of these other pets here, which I claim to continue to plant food. So when you start out in this game, you actually won't have this many pieces of land to farm food on. You'll only have a few. And if we come over to the shop here, you can see that every few levels, if we go to buildings, the next piece of farm plot that I can buy will be unlocked at level 27. And for the time being, that's pretty much how this game functions, that you have these cages that you put your pets into, and with the more silver you have, the more silver you get to upgrade these cages, as well as the more silver you have, the more food you can harvest. The more food you can harvest, the more you level up. The more you level up, the more plots of farmland you get. The more plots of farmland you get, the faster you continue to level up. As far as future features of the game in terms of battling and trading, that's still not a part of the game for the time being, but we do have some buildings here that show us some directions that the game may be going in. We have the pet hotel, where you may put a pet that you don't have room to keep in any of your cages. Cozy place for your pets to enjoy their hibernation time. We have the main house. Currently no features other than saying home sweet home here. And the most important of all of them is the marketplace. Still not active. Trade your pets and make a fortune here. This, in my opinion, is the most important feature of the game that I hope to see out soon, because an active marketplace with lots of volume will give us some kind of indication of how successful DPET could become. If we come over here, we have a couple other buildings. We have the library, not active, but if we click here, it contains all the lore in the DPET world. Kind of interesting. Hope to see that out soon. But another very important feature right here, the staking center. Stake your DPET here for great rewards. Staking is such an important feature to incentivize long-term holding. It makes me very happy to see that they put a building designated just for staking, but I do hope they release this feature soon. So if we come over here, we have Happy Forest. Happy Forest is where the breeding takes place. You can only breed 2 pets that are level 10 or above. So let's go back to my pets and figure out which 2 we're going to be breeding today. So if we come back to my pets here, click on this one here. I believe this is one of my rare pets as far as glasses go. These glasses are rare. I didn't want to cover rarity in today's video because I honestly don't think that matters too much for the time being. I'm going to cover later on why. But as far as breeding goes, I think I'm going to breed that guy with this Spike that I just earned. So we got to level Spike up to level 10. So the way that you level up your pets is you feed them. You can see here I have a lot of food, so I think we should be able to get Spike right up to level 10. I'll just keep clicking this. Level 7, level 8, 9, 10. Okay, do you want to evolve your pet? No. I may evolve him in the future, but for the purpose of this video, we're just going to leave that out and just not spend that extra DPET. And we'll talk about that later, why as well. So we're going to come here, we're going to choose our 2 pets. So we got to find that winged pupper with the glasses that I showed all of you earlier. Let's see, where is this guy? Right there, I believe. And we're going to take the next pet over here and we're going to go find Spike. Where is Spike? Probably close to the bottom since we just got him. There he is. And now we're going to breed him. It costs 5 DPET to breed, and it takes about 1 minute. So let's do that now. So this will take about a minute. I'm going to pause the video, come back when the pets are done breeding. So they are done. We've got a new egg. We're going to click open. Gas is required to hatch the newborn egg. That's fine. So the egg is hatched and it looks like we got another Spike, which is pretty dope, but it doesn't have the glasses that I was hoping I would get from the parent with the glasses, but it's still a Spike, so I'm happy with that. So now we got Spike in the incubator. We're going to click here. We're going to click on him. We're going to place, and we're going to put him to work with the other Spike, farming silver so we can continue to grow food. And as far as DPET goes, that is as far as gameplay currently goes. You can see I'm claiming all my silver here. All the food is ready to be harvested. I'm going to click on the farmhouse, claim all of that, and then we're going to plant. Oh, I leveled up. Nice. I'm going to plant as much food as possible, and we're going to leave that to continue to farm until we got to harvest it again. As far as rarity goes, they're all different in terms of features. So if we jump over here, there's a few things circulating online for rarity. I don't want to spend too much time talking about rarity and breeding because so many of the features are still not out. And until there's an actual marketplace, I don't want to spend too much time talking about the different features. But you can see here that these are all Adonises, different looking ears, different pendants, different feet. This one here is little alien ears, not to mention this different looking pendant with these glasses. And then this Adonis here has wings, pink feet, and giant glasses. So they're all very different, which is a very neat feature as far as NFT breeding goes. And in a future video, I'd be more than happy to circle back and talk about breeding and rarity. But until that marketplace is out, I personally don't think it's a very important topic. But it is great to see so much variety as far as your pets go. Looking at DPET's 12-hour chart, for those of you who are not new here, you know I tweeted about DPET around $2, and I've personally been following the project since around $1. Stochastic RSI is very low on the 12-hour chart. RSI is still high in uptrend zone. You can see here how it ranges back and forth between the baseline and conversion line. Price action is moving very nicely. I talked about this 750 range yesterday where I would look to pick some more up, which I did for the purposes of this video, and I'm still not spending a lot of my DPET in game. I'm going to explain later at the end of the video why I'm still not spending a lot of my DPET in game, but as far as price action goes, this still looks great. Lagging span is pointing down a bit, but that's not too bad since it is trading on the lower end of this channel that we talked about yesterday, trading back and forth between the baseline conversion line, nice and far apart. Kumo cloud way out here indicating an uptrend. Stochastic RSI nice and low, getting ready for a pump. And we see DPET getting listed on more and more exchanges every day. As long as they continue to deliver on their promises, I think this chart has room to pump. So what are my final thoughts on DPET? I am very bullish on the potential of this project. However, if a friend of mine came to me today and said, I've invested in a lot of DPET, should I start buying a bunch of pets and breeding right away? My response would be, no. And I know that's a little confusing considering everything I've said about DPET is positive, so let me clarify. I've been involved in DPET since around $1. So each of these cages that you see here cost me a little over $3 for all 3 pets, and maybe evolving and breeding them cost me an extra $4 to $5. To buy a pet now is around $30 almost. To breed a pet is almost around $40. And a lot of that price action is driven by hype. Hype and speculation, to be a little bit more clear, because Axie Infinity has set such a stage and such a framework of what these projects could become. A lot of people are just pouring into them. And in my opinion, a lot of this price for the time being, until there's a marketplace or a use case for these NFTs, not to mention staking, it's a much riskier investment than it was back at $1. I am very bullish on DPET. I am very active on DPET. I play the game every day and level up my characters. But as far as price action goes, owning and purchasing one of these NFTs has become very expensive. There is no real clarity as to what the value of these NFTs are going to be. There is no clarity as to when the marketplace is going to come out, as well as I am still unaware of what the volume of transactions on said marketplace will be. So I think this game has a lot of potential. I think it has a lot going for it. I think being on the Binance Smart Chain gives it such an advantage because gas fees are so cheap on the Binance Smart Chain. But as far as these NFTs go, I'm not going to bullshit you that there's any value or security to holding them at the moment until some more of the game develops. And at the current price of the token, I personally won't be purchasing any more eggs, evolving, or breeding any of these pets until there's an active marketplace where I can find out what the value of these NFTs is, not to mention what kind of volume of transactions takes place, because everything else being said about breeding and rarity is just assumptions for the time being. And that is why I didn't want to spend a lot of time talking about rarity or breeding in this video, because in my opinion, those topics are currently irrelevant. Until the marketplace launches and dictates what the value of these NFTs are, it doesn't matter if someone writes down on a piece of paper that this winged pupper is worth 200 DPET, because the people will decide what the value of these items are as the game develops. So in the current state of the game, as far as price action goes, I think it's gotten a little too expensive for starting off with no marketplace, no game, no staking options, just what I have shown you here today. That being said, I think there is so much potential here, and if they continue to deliver on their promises, I think DPET could continue to grow and has so much potential for growth. But in the current state, I personally won't be buying any more eggs or pets. But that being said, again, I'm going to repeat myself. I am very bullish on the potential of this project. And once more features of this game are released, I think that is when things can really take off. However, until that happens, I'm not going to be spending any more of my DPET in game. All right, folks, that's all for today. If you appreciate no bullshit NFT reviews, technical analysis, and crypto news, this is the channel for you. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn that bell on to catch notifications for all daily videos. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I'm out.